propaganda. It's crazy. You grow up in school and you think propaganda belongs to the East or something. Mm-hmm. Propaganda is the name of the game of our government. They, again, never want you to look into the crimes that they are committing, so they're constantly trying to sell themselves as the good guys. They did the most. They rescued and saved the world. They've never done anything bad overseas. If you are living and you believe that the American government hasn't committed crimes against humanity, you had to wake up from the propaganda. You just got to. You got to learn real history, not what was taught to you in a textbook. That's all just propaganda. We've done horrific things. Things.
You mentioned Kanye put you on the phone with T.I. and some other people. What's your relationship with Kanye? Because I know one time y'all were going to do a business with each other, and that just fizzled out.
Yeah, I was under so much pressure. It was actually insane to say horrific things about Kanye when all that stuff started going down. Was it 2 years ago now? Mm-hmm. And the truth is my relationship with Kanye began long before I ever even met Kanye. I really do credit the creation of my spirit and my character with listening to his music and having the courage to step out of the bounds of what people say that you are allowed to be. And his song Power, I played that so many times when I got into politics, just realizing that I was going to take a lot of bullets. People were going to say a lot of things about me, but really the power is within me to just not care. And that is why I think that a lot of people don't understand what Kanye means, I think, to the Black community. And that's why the media couldn't take him down, because the media didn't create Kanye. That's the truth. They didn't create him. And so I will forever defend what Kanye has meant to so many people who grew up on his music and listen to his music, just knowing that you have it within yourself and you have the power within yourself to be something. He's obviously still creating music, still loved very much. Do I agree with everything that Kanye does? No. I don't even think Kanye agrees with all the stuff that Kanye does.
He performs a lot.
Yeah.
He performs a lot. He throws you under the bus when he needs to, though.
Me?
Yeah, it
what
feels
do you say
like
about
that.
Me?
It just feels like he's quick to distance himself from you at certain points.
I think that a lot of the way what do you mean by that, I guess?
I think about one moment in particular when everybody got mad at him. I don't know if it was something you designed. It was the Blexit shirts or something, and you said he designed them, and he was like, no, I didn't.
Yeah, so I think that actually time has been good with that situation, because I couldn't say a lot, and people thought that I was lying. Candace lied. First off, I never said that Kanye designed the t-shirts, ever. I said that he designed the logo, and Kanye did design the logo. He had helped us, I have photos of it. But at that time, Kanye was going through a lot personally. And I just didn't think, I just decided that I was just going to be the bigger person. I could have clarified it in the media, but I just allowed everyone to call me a liar because, like I said, I'm a fiercely loyal person. And because I knew of a lot of stuff that was going on personally with him, I just didn't want to add to the avalanche, of people criticizing him. But again, I never had said that Kanye designed the t-shirts, but he did help us with the logo.
And why troll people? When y'all wore the White Lives Matter shirts?
No, because white lives do matter. And the point wasn't to troll people, it was actually to make a statement, and that's that. First off, Kanye was behind that, but he's an artist, and there's a point that he's always making it. You don't think he did this to troll? that seems very beneath him. I'm just doing this to troll.
I don't know. Dame Dash is this guy, and Dame Dash even said that's what he does. He trolls. But it's obvious he trolls.
I didn't consider that as trolling. I definitely don't think that he would have put trolling as a part of his fashion show. He takes his fashion pretty seriously,
Because he's the type of person that will say one thing in private and then publicly do a whole about face on it.
Has he done that with you?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
A bunch of times.
On what topic? Because I've never, stuff that he says that he believes, I've never seen him flip on a topic.
No, I've seen him flip quite often.
On his positions?
Yes, absolutely.
That's interesting.
Absolutely.
Well, I can't tell you it didn't happen. But regarding the White Lives Matter shirts, BLM, I said from the very beginning, was going to be bad. That's another one that people are saying oh, Candace did say this. I'm yeah, I did, man, because obviously it was going to be another money laundering situation. Crazy $90 million raised in no time, in a couple of months, and all that money went to trans organizations. Wild. Absolutely crazy. Establishing the first trans neighborhood in San Francisco. Crazy. But it was obvious. It was obvious because wherever there is tons of Black emotion, there is a money laundering operation that's about to get off the ground. And whenever there is worldwide media support, why do Black Americans think the media support them? As soon as you got tricked by thinking that the media was on your side, it should have been a wake-up call. It went way too global, way too fast. Corporations suddenly, yes, we believe in this. And I knew that the end result was going to be that Black American communities were going to be looted and rioted to the ground, and that they were training Black Americans psychologically to believe that this was it. This was going to be what, the advancement. This is going to be good for your cause. Get behind this organization that's ultimately going to hurt you and set you back, which is what happened. Businesses moved out of Black communities because why would you continue running a business if you're getting robbed and stolen from every 5 minutes. And now those communities are poorer. And now you have Rashida Tlaib saying, oh, Walgreens is racist because they are leaving, inner city communities. What would you like Walgreens to do? This is a for-profit business. So it incentivized bad behavior in the Black community, made businesses move out, and money laundered to a bunch of LGBTQIA, however many letters it's gotten to, organizations, which I also think is not good for the Black community.
Have you had any conversations with anybody from BLM? Like, have they ever challenged you on?
Well, I went to Patrice's house.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
I was very pregnant. She lied. Caught her in real time lying. Right. I was very polite when I rang the doorbell. I went to one of her houses. She's got a lot of houses. Thanks, BLM. But yeah, I had on Hawk Newsom, who was the New York chairman for BLM. Had him on my show several times, actually. I had him on 3 times, I believe, and debated him and his ideas during that. I'm not a person that is scared to debate anybody on any topic because it's what I actually believe. I think people that run away from debates are the liars, right? Like, if you're going to sit and talk about somebody and say they think, sit down and have a debate about a topic. BLM, I caught all the heat, but fortunately that's $100 million just burned and gone, and there to support trans issues if that's what Black America agrees with.
I agree with that even when it comes to people that you may disagree with. Like, people may disagree with Candace Owens. They may disagree with, the Fox News. If I'm these elected officials or these people that are being spoken about, I'm going to go on y'all platforms and talk to y'all because y'all have huge platforms.
Right.
So why continue to let somebody say some things that you say aren't true? Or say some things that you disagree with and let those things go unchallenged. Go have the conversation with them.
Right, exactly. And so I think that's part of it, is that we've been so boxed in and you're only hearing liberal ideas and liberal concepts. And by the way, I do want to say half the narratives, when I say it like I suddenly realized I was always a conservative, I think that actually would happen if Black Americans actually paid attention to conservative arguments, because I don't take the Black community as woke liberal. It's just not that. I think something like, especially on the LGBTQ stuff, like is this what Black Americans care about? Like bathroom signs and wanting kids to pick their gender? I would definitely say no. So it's just being forced. Yeah. This narrative is being forced, and I cannot stand. Nothing makes me angrier than seeing the intentional feminization of Black men. Drives me insane.
Expound.
Kid Cudi wearing a dress, like suddenly, and there is actually an old interview that I believe Dave Chappelle gave to Oprah where he talks about that in Hollywood there's always this like pressure for them to try to get Black men to wear dresses, and he like said no to this, and people kept trying to get him to wear a dress. They're like, wouldn't it be so funny in one of your skits if you wore it? And he was like, no, what is this? Like, why are you trying to get me to wear a dress? That is weird to me. It's super toxic, and for some reason when I see that, like the hyper feminization of Black men, it does something to me spiritually. Like, it makes me want to snap.
Well, I guess I'm not saying you're wrong, but there's plenty of people that be like, well, why are you not with a Black man then, Candace?
What's that? That's something to do with anything. I'm of a Black man. Like my granddaddy, my dad, I'm of a Black man. It's not gonna, like, why do you feel impacted by it? Because I am seeing that intentional attack on Black men, and they're trying to condition Black men to aspire to that. When you put that on a red carpet and like, oh, look, fame and men wear dresses. What is that? Stop selling that to the Black community. I don't like that at all.
I love the way that you and Ben Shapiro are able to disagree, but then I guess still have a business relationship. Because I saw him recently tell you, I think this was maybe a few months ago, he told you to quit over your Israel coverage, your Palestine-Israel coverage.
Yeah.
What was that about?
Well, he told me, the tweet that he responded to was actually just some biblical passages. Mm-hmm. And he thought that it was me saying that I had to choose money over I don't know how we interpret it, but it was definitely not. I just meant it as like, peace, calling for peace, because there was a video circulating of him calling me a disgrace and a faux professional or whatever it was, and I decided to choose peace. And then when I chose peace, he responded to the peace with not peace.
So why wouldn't he just fire you?
Well, as I explained on Tucker Carlson's show, like, Ben doesn't have the power to fire me, and it's not even saying that we disagree on Israel and Palestine. I just think that he's obviously, his wife is Israeli. Mm-hmm. He spends a lot of time in Israel throughout the year. I think when you have an emotional attachment to some place, that sometimes your reaction to anything is going to be more extreme to it. I have some relatives that are from St. Thomas. If what was happening in that region was happening in St. Thomas, I would probably be the most fired up out of everybody at the Daily Wire. And yeah, he definitely went through, I think, an emotional time at the end of last year, dealing with everything. I think I was pretty even keel. I don't want to see innocent Palestinians killed. I don't want to see innocent Israelis killed. I never want to see children killed. I don't believe children should have to grow up in a war zone based on the actions of a few. And that, I guess, last year sounded crazy. It sounded crazy because always the demand in all these situations is to make people pick a side. And then if you don't pick their side, then you get smeared and you get libeled, right? So if you don't say, I want every Palestinian murdered, then suddenly you're pro-Hamas. If you don't say, like, I want every Israeli person eradicated, then suddenly you're pro-apartheid, whatever the arguments are. And I think both of that is extreme.
You said no government anywhere has a right to commit a genocide, ever. There's no justification for genocide.
Yeah. That is going to age so well. Genocide is always wrong. It is, guys. It is always wrong. And doesn't matter at any point in human history, any person that is advocating for genocide is always in the wrong. And when I wrote that tweet, I was referring to Brian Mast, who was a congressman. He got up and he literally said in Congress that there's no such thing as an innocent Palestinian. And I was like, that is genocidal, right? As soon as you say an entire group of people are all evil, you are now laying the groundwork to justify a genocide. And that, to me, was wild. So I spoke up against it.
Have you been blackballed from Fox News?
No, I just stopped going on Fox. I used to, my schedule's very busy, but I used to go only once a week on the Tucker Carlson show. And then Tucker left Fox News. So I just didn't go on Fox News.
Got you.
Yeah.
You seem to be excited that Black America is embracing you, as you said.
Yeah.
I say that. Why is that?
I'm just glad that they're hearing me for the first time. Forget embracing. I just wanted them to actually hear me. There was just so many things said about me that just were not true. And no matter what, every time an article was written, they would just rehash the things that I never said. I mean, even the Joe Budden interview that was recently dropped and everyone's talking about it, go read Hot New Hip Hop's article on it. It's wild. It's just not what was said at all in that interview. It's just patching together things to make me seem like I'm a monster. Like Candace blames the education system for like Ice Spice's music. That's literally what they said. They ran with that. And so I'm just excited that they're at least hearing me. That's the biggest thing. Actually being able to decide, okay, I heard Candace and here's what I think about her. Rather than I heard what somebody else heard and what they say that I should have heard and here's what I think about her.
Yeah, because most of the hate is like domino. Like you'll see, like over the years, I've seen like people in comments, it'll be headlines about you and somebody don't like you because somebody else don't like you and then because of what somebody else said and then, oh, she ain't never for us. Or it's always what somebody is waiting to, like in the comments, Charlamagne always say, people wait in the comments, go in the comments to
see how they want to feel.
See how people want to feel.
Right.
You go through comments first so they can tell you how to feel.
Right.
You never did research on her. You've never sat and talked to her. Obviously, you don't watch her show. You just grab what the headlines grab and you read the comments and they tell you not to like her.
Right. And a part of that, by the way, has a lot to do with illiteracy, which is something that I talk about all the time because the illiteracy rate in inner cities right now is over 70%. We're talking about over 70% of Black boys that can't pass a basic reading exam. That is crazy. That is crazy. Across the United States entirely, 40%. We're at 40%. Yeah. So people think that they're going to public schools to get an education. It's the exact opposite. They are slowly making sure that you're never going to be able to have a proper education and they're going to tell you what to think. That's what they want. They want the ability of a headline. And that's very scary. I talk about what they did on slave plantations, why we weren't allowed to learn how to read because they knew that if they could control the narrative, then you could be enslaved forever, right? Your mind becomes enslaved when you can't read, when you say, okay, I learned that in a textbook, but let me read this, and actually